Hey, what's going on? My name is Voidfox, and in this episode I control a giant, jealous, mutant octopus with tentacles made of bees, snakes, penguins, and more. It's crazy! But is it any good? Is it any good? Okay, so we're looking at a game called Octogeddon. It's brought to us by the developers All Yes Good, and for more information you can find links and stuff in the description below. So you're probably wondering, okay, listen, I haven't even heard of Octogeddon. What is it? Or maybe you have. Either way, this is what the Steam page says it is. You are Octogeddon, a massive mutant octopus with one mission: destroy the world. Grow more tentacles and evolve each of them into deadlier and deadlier weapons until you become the ultimate 8-legged killing machine. This description alone made me curious, and when I saw the screenshots, I was like, whoa, I gotta check this game out. It looks wacky. So let's get into it. What did I like about Octogeddon? The visuals. The visuals in this game. Let me tell you something, okay? You can definitely tell Octogeddon was created from the original creator of Plants vs. Zombies. The goofy, cartoony visual style gives it away, and it's frickin' fabulous. They're colorful, bright, and everything has noticeable silhouettes so enemies don't get lost in the background. This is so important for a game like this. Think of other shoot-em-ups you play, or in this case, spin-em-ups. Anyway, it's very important is what I'm trying to say here, guys, and Octogeddon does it very well. While water levels aren't all that exciting, the land gameplay has little details in them, in the background, that you'll spot, all the little people and all the little, like, billboard signs. They have all these little funny details that are going to definitely put a smile on your face. Let's talk about the controls. This game sports a super simple 2-button control scheme. Spin left and spin right. That's it. In fact, the entire game can be controlled with just the mouse buttons, or the keyboard if you prefer. This made the game super accessible to jump into and start playing and getting familiar with practically instantly. The nice thing about this simple control scheme is that it allowed the gameplay to shine through, the strategy and all the depth the game has to offer, because on the surface there doesn't seem to be a lot of depth, but because of this control scheme, all that depth comes to the surface rather quickly. Gameplay! Alright, let's get into gameplay, probably the single most important thing in any video game. Octogeddon delivers too, by the way, but let's just let me touch on some of the points that I thought were really cool, some of the things I really like. So there are basically 3 different game modes we're going to experience in this game. The water levels, which play like a stationary spin-up shooter. Levels on land and in the city makes you feel like a destructive giant similar to the game Rampage, for those who've ever played that on the NES, where you physically roll around the ground and change your positioning and use your tentacle choice, and those really come into play here. Then there's an in-between minigame of sorts, where you play as one of the pets, swimming side to side, avoiding falling water mines and shock devices while collecting seashells. Now, while Octogeddon is repetitive by nature, these modes and the increased enemy variation and difficulty as you progress help break up the monotony. Adding tentacles and evolving them into different animal parts is probably the wackiest idea I've heard of in a long time in a video game, and it works so incredibly well here in Octogeddon. Each attachment adds a little layer of depth and strategy, and different enemy types will have you swapping and comboing these different tentacles. It's really great. Things can become hectic when you start having a lot of different types of tentacles and enemies on screen. The game likes to throw a lot at you too, but there's usually a way to deal with it strategically, and that's what's so great about this game. It's such a casual play style, but there's this layer of strategy and depth, and it works so well. During early to mid-game, each playthrough will come with a few new unlocks, giving you something to always strive for. Even after death, there's seashells that you collect during your rampaging adventures, and they're used to purchase DNA upgrades to further increase the power of different octopus limbs, as well as giving you things like additional lives and more limb selection slots between rounds. These unlocks are essential to giving you a slightly easier time for future runs. Or should I say, future rolls. Oh, and I mentioned pets earlier. There's these cute little ones, okay? Cute little pets you can unlock to follow you, and each of them have their very own defensive or offensive skills depending on how you want to use them. My personal favorite, the karate starfish. And to round all of this off, there are mini bosses and larger bosses to battle, both in the water and on land, and will challenge you, but won't make you rage. Okay, I just want to make a quick note about the humor, something else I really enjoyed in this game. The humor is amazing. Not surprising, coming from the original creators of Plants vs. Zombies. The cutscenes, specifically, legitimately had me in stitches. It could be that I adore this type of lighthearted, silly humor, but seriously, this stuff is gold. Alright, I guess it's about that time we talk about the things I disliked. Luckily, there's not that much. So, I was a little bit triggered to find out the game's native resolution was 1366 by 768. It doesn't really tell you this anywhere in the game, you just really have the option of playing in window or full screen, meaning the graphics were rescaled and became slightly muddied on my 1440 monitor. It wasn't awful, but not the crisp, clean, cartoony style I was expecting on the higher resolutions. And there's only one other thing I don't like about the game, and I have a feeling it's probably easily patched in, so maybe this is a non-issue, but with such a simple control scheme and casual gameplay, this game would be perfect to sit back in a chair and play with a controller. Unfortunately, as of, again, the date of making this video, it only supports keyboard and mouse. Octogeddon seems to be doing exactly what it has set out to do. It's an extremely accessible, slightly casual action game with a hilariously wacky twist on the shoot-'em-up genre and pretty dang good replay value. While it doesn't hold my attention for long periods of playtime, it feels great as an in-between game or when I have just a little bit of time to play. It's also nice I'm unlocking things with each playthrough, at least in the early to mid-game, and the randomness of each run with the combination of the new unlocks and trying different tentacle combinations keeps things fresh. So if this game at all looks good to you, then I definitely recommend giving it a spin. Spin! Alrighty, I hope these impressions were helpful. What did you think of the game? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy the content, give the video a like, subscribe too if you want. Either way, I appreciate you watching, so thank you very much. This is Voidfox, I'm out of here. Is it any good?